Hello everyone, so picking off where we last were, we just found out that we have word of a Scion that may have been found, or at least a lead to them, and Tataru is going to, I guess, say more about it in this next quest. So, without any further ado, Aetherial Trail. Tataru is eager to share her progress in the search for the missing Scions. When you fled the Victory Feast and used... That's a good start. Can't even read the first sentence. When you fled the Victory Feast, you used the ancient watercourse beneath the city, right? Well, shortly after things went back to normal in Ulda, I asked Marshal Pipin to have the tunnels searched. A logical place to look. It was there that you lost contact with Minfilia, Thancred, and Y'shtola, was it not? Yep. Dare I ask what the Marshal found? I don't actually know. Pipin's message just said that there had been a discovery and that we were to come to the Hall of Flames at our earliest convenience. I dare not think what it might be. We shall depart at once. Tataru, let Urianger know to join us in Ulda. He will wish to be present as well. Yes, sir! And so we're off to the Hall of Flames, which is of course in Thanalan, in Ulda. And that's right. It's going to be right beside the Aetheryte, basically, because that's where the Hall of Flames is. Duh. Redundancy at its finest. Oh, I also apparently haven't done my class quest yet, because I apparently forgot I had one. Truthfully, I haven't been on the character since last Saturday. Urianger. As thou art returned to us, wherefore might our comrades not be the same? Never shall I concede them lost till I have seen proof of their passing. Pipin. Pipin is such a great name for a hobbit. I mean, Lalafell. Or potato. We are grateful for your assistance, Marshal Terrapin. You saved her grace and father both. 'Tis the least I can do to repay you. Forgive me my impatience, Marshal, but your missive mentioned a discovery. Yes, of course. As per your request, I had my men scour the waterways. Almost immediately we encountered a difficulty. An entire section of the tunnel had collapsed. With the mineral concern's cooperation, however, we were able to remove the rubble, which yielded the battered bodies of a dozen crystal braves. Go on. Beauty is, Master Alphinaud. Your friends were not among the deceased. That alone is cause for hope. And then there is this. A twig. I mean... Y'shtola's wand! I had assumed as much. If I may, Marshal. 'Tis as I did surmise. Judging by the etheric imprint that lingereth yet upon this wand, it hath assuredly been employed to the casting of a most uncommon magic. Namely... the very first that man did conceive to traverse great distances, and the ancient precursor to all methods of travel that utilize the Lifestream. Flow. The spell utilizeth... The spell entaileth the reduction of the corporeal form into its constituent aether, that the caster might enter the Lifestream and ride its currents thereby. Unlike the teleportation magics of modern times, it requireth not a lengthy incantation. That Y'shtola should choose to employ such a spell bespeaketh the need for haste. All of which would suggest she managed to escape. Would that it were so simple. Know that the scholars of Sharlayan forbade the use of the spell, and with good reason. The caster hath but limited control over his course. For every mage who came safe unto his destination, another would be set adrift in the Lifestream, never to emerge. What? No, you can't mean! Be not downcast, my friend, for there is yet hope. 'Tis like that Y'shtola's passage had left traces in the Lifestream. Should we but follow these from the point at which the magic was invoked, we may yet find her. To the Azys Lla excavation site, then. Our thanks for your aid, Marshal. Do not mention it. I shall pray for Lady Y'shtola's safe return. Pipin. Would that I could be of more assistance, but our nation's resources are stretched thin. Be that as it may, do not hesitate to contact me if there is aught I can do. And so we'll be heading to the excavation site, which is over here. And I guess it is just as fast to go over this way first. So we will do that. Tataru. If our friends weren't in the tunnel, that must mean they're somewhere else. Alphinaud. Simply being here calls to remind the events of that fateful day. Gridania. Evidence of Y'shtola's passage will have been made faint by time, but mayhap some few scent traces yet remain to guide her steps. The trail leadeth to the north and east, unto the bosom of the Twelveswood. Are you certain? Aye, there's no mistake. Thither hath Y'shtola journeyed. And yet the Gridanians have reported no sightings. We must take this to mean she is still adrift. If it be so, I do fear for our friend. Contrary to its name, the Lifestream is more akin to a raging torrent. Linger over long in the midst of this maelstrom, and the aether of the formeth one's soul shall surely be scattered, ne'er to be reformed. We have no time to waste. Gridania, pray explore all possible options for the reversing of the effects of this forbidden magic. Sharlayan, Tataru, we three shall press on to Gridania and petition the elder Seedseers' aid. And so we need to head to the new Gridania. Well, technically old Gridania to Nafika's altar, but we'll just be taking the Aetherite once we get there. And that's, of course, by the Conjurer's Guild. And we must needs speak to Alphinaud here, but we'll speak with Tataru first. Hold on, Y'shtola, we're coming for you. It is said that the elementals perceive the Lifestream. If, as we suspect, Y'shtola is still adrift in its midst, they may be able to find her. But if we are to appeal to them for assistance, we must needs do so through their chosen, the Pagil. It is imperative, therefore, that we speak with Kan-E-Senna without delay. So am I talking to you right now? I'm just kidding. And Tataru says the same thing. Lost in the Lifestream. Alphinaud is eager to petition the Elder Seedseers' aid in rescuing Y'shtola. I have already requested an audience with the Elder Seedseer. She will receive us in the Lotus Stand presently. We need but speak with the Conjurer yonder to be admitted. Silent Conjurer. The Elder Seedseer awaits. Pray follow me. Proceed to the Lotus Stand. And we actually get to move over here for a change. I can't decide if I like it in this area when it's nighttime because it's very pretty, or in the daytime when it's also very pretty. Be welcome, my friends, and speak freely. I gather your suit will admit no delay. It will not, my lady. Pray forgive the abrupt nature of a request, but it is a matter of life and death. Blah blah blah, this and that, you told him maybe this, blah blah blah. Can you help us? Okay, I guess it was a little too early. I see. As you say, we must needs act swiftly if we are to free Y'shtola from the ungentle pull of the Lifestream. And as you have surmised, we cannot do this unaided. However...
In requesting the Elemental's assistance to find Y'shtola, you must needs be aware of one difficulty. A difficulty born of the fundamental difference between man and Elemental.
That being?
In perceiving the world around him, man relies upon senses such as sight and sound. For the sake of convenience, he gives names to such things as are near or dear to him. Being formed of pure ether, however, such concepts are foreign to the Elementals. Instead, they perceive by observing the ebb and flow of the energies of life. So profound a division cannot be bridged with simple discourse. The Elementals' voices stir not the air, and thus reach not our ears, while our words are but wind to them. Though we seers can commune with them through feelings, naught that we can impart will serve to aid them in identifying Y'shtola. Nay, they must needs be presented with ether which is akin to hers. If you could but find a family member.
Oh! I know just the person! Y'shtola has a sister who came to live in Gridania. She told me about her once.
Oh, that is most fortunate indeed. Pray, seek this sister out then, and bring her to Evershade. There, we shall petition the Great One's aid in finding your lost companion.
Alphinaud. I was not aware that Y'shtola had a family member here in Gridania. How very convenient. Forgive me. I have grown so accustomed to being laughed at by the Fates, I cannot help but mistrust them when they smile on us. We must, of course, seek the woman out at once. Tataru. If memory serves, Y'shtola's sister is named Yamhitra. Oh, you know her, do you? Well then, that ought to make things easier. Anyway, she spends most of her time around Kalu Falls, from what I recall. Let's look for her there. And so if you've done the the Arcanist, or Arcanist, however you want to say it. I'm pretty sure it's Arcanist, but anyway. You will have met her because when you progress in that class, you will then unlock the Summoner and the Scholar class. While in relation to the Summoner class, you actually converse with her in Kalu Falls because she's the kind of teacher, if you will, for summoning. And so that is who and why Tataru said that we have met her, because if we look at my class here, we can see that I've been working on Scholar. So my Scholar is level 59. And so that when you get your, well, you can unlock both of them, but each class, so if you ever notice, like in your battle or whatever, you gain, so right now, my class is, okay, so right here, it says Lancer experience. That's the base class for this. My job is Dragoon, so it's not Dragoon experience. And so when you have the Arcanist unlocked, and then you also unlock the jobs for Summoner and Scholar, you'll also gain that experience for both of them. So when you level up one, so say you're working on your Scholar, your Summoner class will also be leveled up. Or if you're working on your Summoner, your Scholar level will also be worked on. So I've been working on Scholar because that's the one I prefer. And on the downside of that is I have no idea how to do Summoner. Or not really. Yeah. So, there's that. So just be aware of that if you ever do the Arcanist class and you wonder why your Summoner is already at a very high level if you unlock it a much later date. It doesn't matter when you unlock it, it's still going to be the same experience. Which is a nice thing and a bad thing at the same time, because I find it's harder to learn a job that way, but whatever. But anyway, so as I said, with her, she is part of the summoning class job quests, so that's why we know her. And I probably rambled on that a little too much. Greetings, Slibran. What brings you here today? I see that you have companions. Lady Ymatira, it is an honor to meet you. My name is Alphinaud, and this is Tataru. So you're my sister's comrades in the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. When I heard that your people were being pursued, I desperately sought to reach Stola, but all mine efforts were to no avail. Now I know why. A forbidden spell of all things. That she should be so reckless. But what's done is done. I thank you for bringing word to me. Needless to say, I should be glad to help. Though we were born of different mothers, our veins course with the same father's blood. I hope that this will be enough for the elementals. Come, let us make for the Evershade at once.
Let us begin. Raya-O, Arun, if you would. Hearken to me, O great ones. Pray give yourselves to the Lifestream, a drifting soul to find.
Please, Y'shtola. Please come back to us.
There. Now! A room has been readied at the roost. Pray, bear her thither at once. All that remains is to pray, my friends.
Alphinaud. Let us pray that Y'shtola awakens. Tataru. Who's Y'shtola? Just seeing her face again, it's... Oh, I've been so worried. I'm not laughing at you, Tataru, but... With the Seedseers' aid, Y'shtola may have been forever lost to us. I shall go to the Lotus stand to offer them my heartfelt thanks. Tataru. Tataru needs you to fetch a few items for a crafting endeavor. Y'shtola is resting within an inn room. Though she's still unconscious, the signs are positive. The conjurers say she is in sound health, and should awaken before long. Isn't that wonderful? Now while we wait for Y'shtola to wake up, I thought I'd take the opportunity to finish my little surprise for her. It's something I've been working on for a while now, in the hope that she'd one day return to us. It wants for just a couple more items before it's ready. I've already placed orders for these items. Could I ask you to retrieve them for me? One is with the Leatherworkers Guild, and another is with the Conjurers Guild. Speak with Mistress Jiva, whatever, and Brother Asumayan, and they ought to take care of you. Of course. Of course. Wrong person. Tataru. Please fetch the items, blah 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 blah. Okay, so we need to go to the Leatherworkers Guild, which is in Old Gridania over there, and then to the Conjurers Guild, which is of course back by the Lotus Stand, which is also in Old Gridania over there. So we'll use the Aetherite to teleport to the Leatherworkers Guild first. Because I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to travel. And by travel I meant by foot. Which I have to do anyway, sort of. Ahem. I was also kind of curious as to know if any of the dialogue might have changed if I had used my white mage. But whatever. Jiva. Well, if this isn't Sharlayan. Looking for some hides to tan, mayhap. Here to retrieve an order for Mistress Tataru, you say? You come at a good time. I finished it but moments ago. It was no small coup, working it to her specifications, but I did it nonetheless. Payment has already been settled. However, did that girl come by chimerical hide anyway? You need either balls of steel or a bottomless coin purse, and it seemed to me she had neither. And, of course, that means heading now to the Conjurers Guild. And if you haven't figured it out already, it is, of course, because Tataru always has some sort of clothing for us. And by us, I mean the Scions and, well, the Scions. So that's more than likely what it is that we are acquiring, the materials or the end results of whatever it is that Tataru commissioned for these places. And I would presume that the Conjurers Guild has a staff or another wand or some sort. Sumayan. Greetings, Sharlayan. I trust you have been well. Is there aught you require of me? Ah, yes, Mistress Tataru's order. As requested, it has been sanctified in the sight of the elementals. I know not what she intends for the staff, but it is a singular artifact. Even one possessed of my experience would struggle to wield it. well, Y'shtola is not wanting for skill of the conjurer, I presume. Anyways, so now we need to return to the canopy, Caroline canopy, and speak with Tataru. Alphinaud. The Seedseers are gracious souls. It gives me heart to know that they are our allies. Tataru. Ah, you're back. You have the items, I hope. Tataru's Leatherwork Commission. A leather bag containing an item prepared by the Leatherworkers Guild as per Tataru's request. And Tataru's Conjurer Commission. A cloth bag containing the item prepared by the Conjurers Guild as per Tataru's request. Ooh, it's precisely as I requested. A perfect match for the other pieces. Truly Jeva is a master among masters, and this staff completes the surprise. Thank you so much, Celebrian. Gee, I can't wait to see what Y'shtola thinks of the surprise. Lest you wonder, she's doing very well, and the conjurers have left her in her sister's care. Let's go and pay them a visit, shall we?
Y'shtola! I'm so glad you're back!
Tataru. You are safe. Thank the 12. Something has changed about you, Alphinaud. Or mayhap the change is with me. I seem to sense the ether around me more keenly than before.
I am pleased to see you well again. Do you feel strong enough to talk?
Worry not. I am well enough.
Tell us then, what befell you after you fled the feast? We were told that there had been a tunnel collapse.
That was my doing. I brought the tunnel down that you and Minfidia might escape. At the last moment, I invoked a teleportation magic, in hopes of spiriting Thancred away at least. Needless to say, it did not go quite as planned, and I found myself adrift in the Lifestream. The others? Where are they? Did they not escape?
They remain unaccounted for. You were the only one we have been able to find. I am truly sorry. It was the Crystal Braves who pursued you that day. My hubris that led to our undoing.
No apologies are necessary, Alphinaud. You are not to blame for what occurred. Know that were our comrades here, they would commend you for keeping the light of hope alive.
Don't worry. The others are alive and well, I'm sure of it. We just need to find them.
Indeed, Tataru. Let us find our friends and rebuild the Scions.
Ha! There is the Alphinaud I remember. And I feel much the better for his return. 'Tis time I arose.
That reminds me. I have a change of clothes for you. I don't like to boast, but I made them myself. I learned how to weave while we're in Ishgard, you see.
Tataru has apprised me of all that took place in the aftermath of the assassination plot. It would seem I have been away for some while.
Yes, much and more happened during your absence. At present, we seek to follow the Archbishop to Azys Lla.
And you want for some manner of etheric ram to pierce the floating isle's protective barrier?
We do. Might you be able to furnish us with one?
A means to prise open a hole in an Allagan barrier. And one large enough to admit an airship, no less. Nay, I lack the knowledge to devise such a weapon. But I know of one who could. A leading figure in the field of etheric research, and one of the finest scholars ever to grace Sharlayan. Matoya, my former master.
Alphinaud. Matoya. The name rings strangely familiar. Tataru. Teehee, your Y'shtola looks absolutely smashing in her new outfit, don't you think? Y'shtola. Onward to Sharlayan. Y'shtola wishes to tell you more about her former master Matoya. In my youth, I had the honor of studying under Matoya. In the field of etheric research, she was without rival. I have no doubt that her knowledge will be of aid to our cause. The question is, will she share it with us? My master has ever been willful. The gods forbid anyone disagrees with her. When the Garlean Empire first marched upon Eorzea some 15 years ago, the denizens of Sharlayan were summoned back to the motherland. However, Matoya refused to join the exodus. To this day, she lives a hermit's life on the fringes of the abandoned city. So it is to the Dravanian hinterlands that we must go, to the place of my birth. Though Alice and I were born in Sharlayan, our days there were short. We remained only until the exodus. I have not returned since. Oh, so it is to be a homecoming then. As fine a reason as any to go to Sharlayan, and it would afford us the opportunity to pay my master a visit. Ahem, I believe you have mistaken our primary objective, Y'shtola. At any rate, the journey will take us through largely unknown territory. Let us first return to Ishgard and make our preparations. And so we were going to head to Ishgard, of course. Tataru. We managed to find Y'shtola. Given time, I'm sure we'll be reunited with the others as well. Y'shtola. So this is the Holy See. I should like to linger a while and take in the sights, but it must wait till after our mission. Alphinaud. Sharlayan is situated in the Dravanian hinterlands. To get there, we must strike west and traverse the breadth of the Dravanian forelands. Make no mistake, it will be a grueling journey. The party shall be comprised of Sharlayan, Y'shtola, and myself. Tataru, pray remain in Ishgard and continue the search for our missing friends. Yes, sir! First, let us make for Tailfeather. And so we need to head to Tailfeather, which is, of course, over here. And of course, I am just going to teleport there. Alphinaud. When last we set foot here, Estinian and his sail were with us. Though it was not all that long ago, I find myself taken by nostalgia. Y'shtola. A long soak in the Lifestream followed by a long journey. I would not recommend it to anyone. But rest assured, my strength is returning to me. I shall be back to my former self ere long. Alphinaud. You're saying the same thing. Okay. Y'shtola. And, of course, we have new equipment. To see, we have the gladiator/paladin's arm. We have the axe, which is interesting. We have the Dark Knight's weapon. I like it up to there and not so much afterwards. And then we have the katana, or Uchigatana in this case, which is also quite nice. I may go for that one, maybe? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Your shuttle is ready to press on westward to the Gridanian hinterlands. I believe I'm sufficiently rested. Let us continue west to Sharlayan. Once we descend the mountain path, we will arrive at the Gridanian hinterlands. From there, it is but a short distance to the city. Be warned that we shall be passing through Nath territory. We must needs be wary of them and the dragons both. And so we need to head this way over there. And of course, I can fly in this area, so that makes it super easy. Otherwise, I would have to run all the way there, and, well, actually, I would probably teleport to there, and then do that. And as you can see, I've not yet done the side quests in this area. That is on my to-do list for this coming week. And we also have a quest over there. I will work on that maybe on the next... Actually, you know what? We should probably do that while we're here. Otherwise, I'm probably going to forget. Now, this is going to be a slight side trip. And, as you might guess, because we have the Lost Vath here, the Vath who are not one mind, as it were. You may recall that in a previous video, or may not, but anyways, these are Vath that are not, shoot, what's it called? Ensnared by their primal. I know that's not the right word, but effectively that. Anyway, so, yes. This is the first quest for unlocking the Beast Tribe quests for these Vath. The Vath storyteller looks at you and clicking his mandibles. And the other thing, this is also I believe, the first introduction. I could be mistaken, it's been a long time. But the difficulty of this quest will be synced with your current level. So what that means is, since we're level 58, this quest will have 58 monsters and whatnot. If I were a lower class, and as you can see the requirement is level 50, so the lowest would be actually level 50, and the highest would be, I believe it only goes up to level 60. Because that was the cap for the Heavensward expansion. Something like that. Anyway, the Vath storyteller looks at you, clicking his mandibles nervously. Click, click. Great Hunter, we are honored that you have returned to our humble hive. There is something which weighs heavy on our mind. Very heavy. We have a newcomer to Lothast Vath. He has not yet proved himself useful, and so he has no name. So determined is he to find his place that he left the sanctuary to forage in the forests of the east. He has not returned. It has been difficult as of late. Very difficult. We have grown hungry and food remains scarce. The One Mind has seen to that. This nameless one means well, but he is highly curious with his newfound senses. This makes him vulnerable. The forest is the domain of the hunters, and his intentions may be misunderstood, for men have not the means to tell Vath from Nath at a glance. Will you not lend us your assistance in finding him? Will you travel to the hunters of the east and ask if they have seen him? Click, click. Kind hunter, generous hunter, you have our gratitude. Please make haste, so that the weight on our mind can be lifted. Of course, we have the fancy-dancy little Beast Tribe music, so of course we need to head back over here and speak with the nameless one, as it were. And we need to find said nameless one. Aha! Grimold. I was hoping for a fine bird, and lo and behold, I captured in a bloody Nath instead. Actually, not a Nath. Good Vath. Click, click. Yes, we are the nameless one. Have you been sent by the storyteller? Tell your hunter friend to release me at once. We are not of the One Mind. We are Vath. I don't care if he's a two-headed bandersnatch. He isn't going anywhere. I'm detaining him for stealing our resources. Normally I'd say we're more lenient than the Nath in terms of territory, so long as they don't hunt in excess or attack us. But then this overgrown Vilekin comes and gobbles up all the gashel greens. We laid in our traps, enough bait to keep a drove of chocobos sated for days, gone, with nothing to show for it. So hungry we were, we could not help ourselves, unable to hunt, unable to forage. We are no different from a parasite, click click. If only we could find a way to release ourselves from this pitiful way of life. Well, if you insist... You misunderstand! Spare us our life! It is all we have! Aye, spare it he will. Stop tormenting the poor creature, Grimold. He doesn't know any better. We ain't savages, but we ain't charitable neither. You'll have to pay us back for the greens you ate, and seeing as you don't have anything on you of value, it looks like you'll have to work off your debt. Last I checked, we're running a mite low on arrow shafts. Harvest me some of the Melilia branches, and we'll call it square, eh? Click, click. Very well. Release us, and we shall do as you say. Course, I ain't fool enough to let him go off alone. I'd ask that you see to it that the beastmen don't flee from his debt. And if he goes, I'll have every hunter from here to the 100 throws after him for thievery. Understand? Ah, we are free. Much appreciated, hunter. Now then, to the smoldering wastes. Grimold. Vath, what difference does it make? Pests, all of them. No comment. Yeah, and so we head over there. Enthralled. I think that's the word for, the people that are ensnared, enthralled with their primal, whatever. Anyway, so we head over here, where ironically someone else is, and we need to speak with the nameless one. Nameless one. Well then, the storyteller must be waiting for us. We make for Lost Vath. But first we say, you must keep your word. Click, click. Yes, we know. If we flee, we will never again be able to move freely. To the non-mind, independence is all. If we take too long, the hunters will surely come after us. Kind hunter, will you help us? We will not ask you to bear the entire burden. One sapling should be enough. We will gather the rest on our own. We shall search on our own. We are not a parasite. Ah, destination marker here. Destination. Let me guess. A fight. Shocking. What will it be today? A tree? A stick? One of those? A tree. Oh, I didn't even get to use my good skill. Because that's so disappointing. Nameless one. Have you the branch? A long green branch cut from a young Amelia. When fashioned into an arrow shaft, it is less likely to split when loosed. Many thanks for this. Now let us return to the hunter's camp and be done with it. Seasoned tracker. Talk to the chief for the details of the hunt. March time. Well, call me a chocobo's uncle. I'm impressed. You've given me more than your debt called for. These branches will make for fine arrows. We've usually got to send a whole party of hunters together this much. What with the molesses thrashing about and the Nath lurking in the brush. Ha! Even with those scrawny arms and legs, you proved more useful than I thought. Click, click. We were useful? Aye, I would say so. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back with so much, or to come back at all for that matter. We too will be honest. We thought to flee, but this hunter persuaded us to stay. But we were useful? Ha! I said you were, didn't I? In fact, to tell you what, since you brought me more than a fortnight's worth, I'll even throw in a small reward, a sack of Gissel greens to take home to your kin. Click, click. A reward? You mean more of those tasty greens? For being useful? We tried to find a way to be useful at Vath. We tried, but we could not find our purpose. Well, we hunters ain't like to turn away an extra pair of hands, beastmen or not, and we offer fair pay to adventurers willing to take on the more dangerous tasks. Ain't that right, Sharlayan? Adventurer? There are those who travel to the wilds of their own accord, risk life and limb all for the sake of these rewards? Such excitement, such fortune! We want to become an adventurer! Can't say I've come across an adventurer who requested Gissel greens as a reward, but we'd be willing to compensate for honest work. If it's food you're after, I'm sure we can arrange for some spare cuts of meat too. Click, click. More crunchy greens and juicy flesh? Enough to feed our colony? We will relay this to Storyteller at once. And so we will head back over to the Vath area over there. Vath Storyteller. Thank you, Hunter, for bringing our nameless brother back. We hope he was not a burden on you. She is no hunter, Storyteller. She is an adventurer, and we are burdened no more. Look at what we have brought you. Crunch. What strange-looking plants, yet they have such a delightful bitter taste. We have other good news. We have found our purpose. We will become an adventurer, too. If we work hard, the hunters promised to reward us with food. Food for the colony. You mean the hunters of the East? We thought it safer to limit contact with them, but they gave you such delicious rewards. You have done well, Nameless One. With your newfound purpose, we are sure we will ease the hunger of your brothers and sisters. But trading with the hunters will not solve all of our woes. Much more is required for our survival. Yes, much more. Our colony is falling into disrepair. We need metals for our defenses. We need clay for our walls. The One Mind knows this. They seek to impoverish us. A few of our non-mind brothers tried to steal such things from Nath. They never returned. The Overmind rages at what he sees as boldness, even though we are mere leeches partaking of tiny drops of their blood. Tiny drops! Even leeches do not loathe their own host as much as we. It is shameful that we must still rely on the One Mind to survive. You can rely on us, Storyteller. We shall travel to the realm and offer our services in exchange for resources. We will bring back precious rewards from beyond. Travel the realm? You mean to cross the hunter's border to lands beyond? Nameless One, it is too dangerous. Fear not, it is what adventurers do. To explore unknown lands, meet their peoples, obtain greater rewards, strengthen the colony. You speak strongly of your purpose. Very well. Should you succeed, we can sever ourselves from the One Mind completely. We can truly become our own masters. But do not become a pest, seeking work where there is none. The hunters may take offense at your eagerness to obtain rewards. How will you know when your services are required? An adventurer's guild? A place to exchange information and gather requests from others? Nameless One, no such place exists here. If this is your solution, you must start your own. But I am certain you will not be alone. Some of your brothers and sisters still want for purpose. Seek them out. Click an adventurer's guild. There is much to do, but first we will introduce you to our brothers. Come, come. And speaking with Nameless of Vath over here. Or Nameless One, rather. This is the stick peddler. He peddles sticks. He lost his connection with the Overmind near the same time as we did. There was one other, but we do not see him. You mean the Kenai? He saw shadows fly across the colony. He was hungry and said he would hunt the shadows east towards the river. He could not have gone far, but he fears the water. Fears it much. He would not cross the river unless it was near the bridge. Wise Vath know to avoid the bridge, for ferocious dragons often lurk near it. Could it be that there were shadows that the keen eye saw? Brave adventurer, could you check the bridge while we search the area for the keen eye? He could be in trouble. But do not slay dragons if you see them. Dead dragons will invite reprisals. We will lend you one of our Kongomato. We have lifted it with a contraption which sprays a putrid smoke which irritates but does not wound. Yes, irritates. We got too close to it once. Most irritating. The Kongomato are unaccustomed to fleshling riders. If you fall off, talk to the stick peddler. They will help you get back on. And let us find the keen eye. Ride the Kongomato to the bridge and use it to spray on any ferocious dragons you see. And you are now on this interesting looking creature. And we need to head to this area by the bridge. I kind of like the sounds that it makes, but it is a very strange creature thing. Daring and defiant dragons. Cough, cough, God, burns! I don't like this game anymore. Ah, why did you do this? To scare you away? Or irritate you away, as it were. And, of course, now we need to head back there. Nameless one. He is the Keen-Eye, so he named himself, for he never tires of discovery. He returned to the hive soon after you departed to search the bridge. We are grateful to you for your assistance. We enjoyed exploring the lands near the colony, but we were careless in our search for curious things. Our nameless brother tells us he will open an adventurers guild in Loth Vath. It was not long ago that we too yearned for a purpose. We will gladly join him in this mission. Then it is decided. The Keen-Eye will help us find many opportunities for adventure. Many opportunities. But our guild is not yet complete. We are unsure of the actual trait of our adventuring. How to find things. How to fight things. We cannot do it without an experienced teacher. Kind adventurer, will you teach us your ways? Click, click. Very well. Wonderful, wonderful. From now on we shall call on you as a master of the craft. Master! Leave the construction of the guild to us. The Keen-Eye will be on the lookout for our hunter friends and any requests they may have. But there are very few adventurers to carry our tasks now. Very few. In fact, only you. We are hoping you could show us how it's done. The storyteller told me he is most pleased with your deeds to our colony. Consider us friends, and from now on let us work together for the guild. And now that we have found our purpose, I shall be nameless no longer. As I long to have a deft arm in arming... blah blah blah. As I long to have so deft an arm in adventuring, I shall call myself Deft Arm. Huzzah! No longer nameless one. The Nameless One is now called a Vath Deft Arm. An adventurer's guild has been constructed in Loth Vath. The Hunters of Tailfeather are now clients of the Adventurers Guild. The Non-Mind Beast Tribe quests unlocked. Your reputation has increased to friendly. And Vath Beast Tribe quests are now available with the Vath Keen-Eye. Furthermore, you now have access to a selection of wares from the Vath Stick Peddler. And of course, that gives us an achievement, and we now have the quests there. And Vath Deft Arm is there, Vath Stick Peddler and Keen-Eye is there. And that said, we're going to continue on with the main scenario quest now, so heading back over that direction in which we were headed in the first place. And so now that we're over in this direction, I did try to access this area before, but we couldn't. We were unable to because of main scenario quest restrictions. and thus we enter the Dravanian hinterlands.
To the Thalaic River, where to the melted snows of Abelathia's spine eventually find their way by means of 1,000 silver streams. Whose waters have long nourished the Dravanian hinterlands, and so provided for a settlement of learned souls from across the northern seas. To the city of Sharlayan, that great seat of knowledge now abandoned by her keepers, they came.
Matoya dwells on the far side of the Thalaic River. Let us search for a crossing. And of course we have things that can bug us right off the bat. And of course this is another area where we can fly. And to the west is that direction. There should be an Aether current nearby. So if you have difficulties finding the Aether current, it's actually in here. And you'll want to be careful because if you group up too many of these guys at once, it can cause some problems. So we actually want to head up here, I believe it is. Or is it in here? Yes, it is in here. So I think we do have to come in here at some point, but... And we have another Aether current right here. If you can see, we now have this, and you can see we will now have the second one there, and we have a lot more to go, and obviously there's quests as well. And of course we make our way to this bridge thingy, and we see another Aether current here. I knew it was somewhere nearby. And then we have a ways to go for the next one. Oops. I totally used the wrong button. I meant to click on that. Oh well. And so we head up this, and I love the architecture of this. And firstly, we're going to take a little detour right here, and you can see there's some goblin thingers. But first, the reason why I'm going to do that is because there's a summoning stone here, so if I have to make a trip, then I can get to here. And we see Y'shtola and Alphinaud. Y'shtola, the bridge ahead has collapsed. I am afraid we shan't be crossing there. But worry not, I know another way. See you the towering structure to the north? We should be able to cross there. Alphinaud. Been but 15 years abandoned already, Sharlayan has fallen into such disarray. Verily, a city is no more than its inhabitants. And so we will go ahead and head over this direction. And we see another Aether current right there. And I think that's the only ones we can get to right now. But anyways, we head this direction, and soon we will see the loadings bar thingy right there. Idyllshire. Or Idyllshire. Knowledge seeks no man. No, so says the motto of Sharlayan engraved upon yonder stone. The meaning is simple. It falls to us to seek enlightenment. During the 6th Astral Era, at the turn of the 13th century, men from the northern nation of Sharlayan journeyed across the seas to Eorzea in search of knowledge. Upon arriving at these shores, they established a camp for their scholarly endeavors. Over time, this camp grew into a settlement, and the settlement prospered, and so much so that it came to be counted amongst Eorzea's great city-states. Alas, those glory days are now but a fading memory. With her keepers lost to her, Sharlayan has become an empty husk of her former self. Psh, ksh. Uplander is mistaken. Sharlayan has new keepers. It is on cusp of new age of glory. Goblins, here to plunder the city? Gasp! Uplander is mistaken muchly. We are not thieves. This place is our home. Your home? When last I looked, it was mines and Alphinaud's. We were born here. Push! When Uplanders abandoned city, Uplanders gave up claim. Born here, no, Uplanders are trespassers. My friends, please, we do not come to dispute your claim to this land. Our purpose here is peaceful. We desire but to cross the river. Be calm, I beg you, and let us speak like the civilized folk that we are. Surely we can come to a mutual understanding. Push. If that is the truth, then Uplanders are welcome here. Come with Slowfix. Slowfix will show Uplander settlement. And as you can see, we of course have the ability to ride our mounts in this area, and even though it is in fact a city. And we also have another quest that's probably for an Aether Current, but the first thing that I'm going to do is attune to the Aetherite here. And I will also set this as our home point. Y'shtola. I suppose it's only to be expected that others would come and occupy Sharlayan. Nonetheless, it feels akin to having strangers take over your home in your absence. Alphinaud. From the goblin's perspective, such a well-appointed city is certainly an attractive proposition. Slowfix. Prish. Here is heart of settlement, name of Idyllshire. Shire. Bleh. What have we got here? Guests? Greetings to you. I am Alphinaud Levier, and may I introduce my companions, Celebrian Sargon and Y'shtola. We have journeyed far in search of a friend, and seek to cross the river. But finding the main bridge collapsed, you went looking for a detour and ended up stumbling into Slowfix and his crew. Is that right? That is the short of it, aye. This place is Idyllshire. I don't know how to say the name. I came expecting a ghost town. Suffice it to say, I am surprised to find it so alive. Well, with all them precious artifacts lying about, 'twas only a matter of time before treasure hunters like me moved in. But we weren't the first to arrive neither. By then, Slowfix and his Gobby friends were already settled. At first, Gobbies and hunters disliked each other, but understanding came, then friendship. Now Gobbies and hunters have joined hands to build great new nation. So that is what happened after we Sharlayans departed. Oh, so you're locals. No hard feelings, I hope. All these nice buildings, but no one left to live in them? Felt like a waste, you know. We've been trying to put the place to rights, and things have been going well for them, the most part. But it ain't all smooth sailing. Not to sound ungrateful, but the traps your people left lying about are a bloody nuisance. There's the Illuminati harrying us day and night. Psh, Slowfix's bright idea. Uplanders desire mutual understanding, yes, but best way to understanding is helping one another. Help citizens of Idyllshire and Uplanders can be citizens too. Citizens are free to cross river. Well, I am not aware of a quicker way to reach our destination. Let us assist Slowfix and his people. And with that, we finally get one of the weapons of choice, and we're just going to go with this one, I guess. I probably won't use it anyway, so. And Y'shtola. I suppose it's only to be expected that the others would come and occupy Sharlayan. Nonetheless, it feels akin to having strangers take over your home in your absence. Alphinaud. From the goblin's perspective, such a well-appointed city is certainly an attractive proposition. And while we are here, there is another thing that I want to do, and firstly I'm curious to see what this is, because I don't remember what it is. What are you? Okay, you need to be level 60. Gotcha. There's another thing that I want to go here. As you can see, Ramona's Center for Cultural Promotion. If we head over in this direction, we will see that there is a tombstone exchange. Now, when this originally was out, it was a different tombstone, but we have this here, and you can see there are all the tombstone pathetics. Tombstone of Pathetics. The Tombstones of Poetics. So if we open up this here, we can see the elegant tombstones. I keep calling them tombstones. Tombstones of Poetics. And then we have the Phantasmagoria and the Allegory ones that are currently, and those you need to be level 70 or higher, I believe, to actually get. Anyway, so these ones are the common ones to be used for just about everything other than what's in Shadowbringers. So anyhow, so you have these. Don't bother with these ones except for aesthetics and stuff like that. These ones are the ones that we're wanting to look for. Wrong one. That's not the right one. That's what I'm That's what I'm looking for. So you can see here we have Shire gear. And this is what I have been wanting to get to for quite some time, because we're almost level 60 and I'm going to need better gear, and well, here it is. And as you can see, I can get a whole bunch of it. I'm not level 60 yet, so I'm not going to bother doing anything right now, but that is what I'm going to be working on off screen, collecting all of that, and that's perfect timing because we are getting closer to the end of Heavensward, spoiler alert, and there's other fun stuff to do in this area. And I've never really paid attention to this before, but it's kind of interesting. I kind of wonder what it says. I don't know. But anyway, that is where we're going to leave this video. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.